sucks when life is hard. I get it. I really do. Of anyone that you're going to watch on these, just because I look healthy doesn't mean I've always been healthy. Just because I look incredibly delicious, like you want to take me home like a little treat, does not mean that my life has not been difficult. Life has been a struggle many a time. I'm 14 years old. I'm just waking up from a spinal tap with chemotherapy. My eyes open. I'm laying on my left side and I look to my dad and I think, what if I just didn't wake up in the morning? What if I just didn't wake up next time I had one of these spinal taps? And I say that to my dad. My dad panics. My dad tries to reassure me. He walks through the glass doors. As I'm laying there watching the wind and the rain hit the outer windows, a voice comes to me. And that voice says, "You have to keep going. We are with you. You're gonna get through this." Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Zach, and I help guide spiritual seekers like yourself deepen the connection with their spirit within. So on today's video, I want to share 3 things that I learned that helped me regain my faith, particularly in deep times of suffering and struggle. And Lord knows we've all had some of those. Mine stem from 7 years of cancer treatment from the age of 14 to 21, and then stem from the consistent effects of the radiation and the chemotherapy later in my life up until this point. So these are my 3 tips, my 3 tools, the 3 things that I've learned that have helped me continually develop my faith, my belief in the spirit, in the universe, and to help me live at peace in my daily life, feeling like a victor and not a victim, that I'm being supported, that I'm being guided, and that everything is going to work out, everything's going to be okay, we just have to keep walking. So that first thing is recognizing the potential for growth in the moments of suffering. I want you to answer this question honestly. When you ask for strength, do you think that spirit just magically gives you strength? Or do you think that spirit puts you in situations and circumstances that are going to help you develop more strength? When you want and ask for more faith, do you think you just get magical faith? Or do you think that spirit, that the divine, that God puts you in circumstances and situations with people that are going to help you develop more faith? When you ask yourself that question, I think you can honestly say that, of course, I'm a human being for a reason. You are a human being for a reason. It's a beautiful reason. You are a spiritual being first, but you are a human being second. But you chose to be here. Whether you like it or not, you chose to be in this form, in this body, experiencing these situations. And I know it sucks, particularly with my own suffering, going through cancer treatment for 7 years, watching my friends die, watching their parents suffer, watching my parents suffer. Then after that, being told I couldn't have kids because of the radiation, having to get a hip replacement, having my eye go blind, my spine collapsing, the list goes on. Shit happens, baby. Like life happens. But the reason I do these videos is because I want you to have that same belief in the universe, in God, in spirit, that I've come to understand as a result of all that suffering. You're here now because you're asking those questions and you're about to find these answers, but you have to look within yourself. I'm just going to be here to help you get a little broad strokes. You're going to have to fine tune all these things within yourself. But the first thing is asking yourself, am I asking for strength? Am I asking for faith? Am I asking for X? You're more than likely not just going to be given that beautiful characteristic. You have to work on it. You can't get something for nothing. You have to work towards it. And that's the beautiful thing about being human. As a spiritual being, you don't have to have these experiences. You don't have to have this suffering. You don't have to have this contrast. But all of these situations expand the universe as a whole, and that's why you're so very important. But secondly, it allows you just to have a more robust experience. It allows you to enjoy the roller coaster of life. So asking yourself, that's super important. Recognizing these growth potential periods, times in your life, but asking yourself, this isn't a lesson, this isn't a test, this is just a way for me to become stronger, better, in whatever way I'm asking for. But you have to put in the effort. You have to put in the work. That's the beauty of being a physical human. And the answer to that is always, of course you can do that. Of course you're capable of that. You are asking for it. You can't ask for something that's not there. You can't ask for something that's not possible. You're asking for more faith. You are going to develop more faith through the practice of moving through the muck, right? It's like climbing up the mountain. You can't just get to the top of the mountain if you don't walk the path. And right now you are walking the path, and that's beautiful. It's spectacular. You're super important. But the path is yours to walk. You're being pushed. The path has been laid before you. There is a path up the mountain, but you have to walk it. At times you're allowed to take a break, relax. I get it. Just let go and say, can you just help me? When you ask your spirit, when you ask God, when you ask Source, the universe, for inspiration, you will be given the inspiration. But you must act on the inspiration. That's in our previous video. You can check that out right up here about taking inspired action, the importance of taking inspired action, because that's the one thing that we tend to miss. We just want these miracles blessed, thrust upon us. But you're here as a human being, a spiritual being, having a human experience because it's necessary for you to walk the path. And then as you deepen that path, others can follow it. So you're being a guide for others as well. And that's the exact reason why I shared that story with you in the beginning of this video. I was ready to quit. I was 14 years old. I felt like I was dying. I was experiencing extreme suffering. By that point, I'd already had a near-death experience where I saw my dead grandpa. You can check that video out right here where I talk about that. And I had a spinal collapse. I was in a back brace. I was going through all types of stuff. I was 14. I shouldn't have been experiencing that much suffering, and I wanted to give up. But when I was laying there on my left side, wanting to just give up. And trust me, it's not the last time that I've done that. I've done that many times since then, well, a lot. But I heard and felt this little push within me, within my body, my heart, and my mind. And then I heard this, you just have to keep going. You're going to be okay. You just gotta walk on the path. You just gotta keep walking one step at a time. Which leads us to our second thing. The second thing we have to ask ourselves when we want to develop more faith is, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, baby. You eat the elephant one bite at a time. How do you build a house? One brick at a time. How do you build a muscle? One protein bar at a time. That's just a joke. That's a bad joke. That's not really true. I don't know. Well, I do know. You should eat a lot of protein and work out. But when you're experiencing these deep suffering experiences, when life is just sucking ass, we all get to those points when something is really going wrong. For me, it tends to always be my health, something around my health. You may also be that way. It may be money. It may be your relationships suck ass. Whatever. But when you're asking for faith, when you've lost your faith and you don't know where to go, you ask yourself, how do I reestablish this belief? And your answer is always going to be one step at a time. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It's just one step at a time, and eventually you get stronger. How do you build a muscle? One repetition at a time. It's how do you lose weight? One meal at a time. You just have to keep taking one step at a time. The thing you can't do is you can't give up on this. Don't give up. I get it. After my bone marrow transplant, I'm 16 years old at this time. I just went through full body radiation, chemotherapy, lethal chemotherapy. My parents and my brothers went home after Easter, and I sat there in my bed and felt like life was never going to get better. I'd been in the hospital at that time almost 60 days, a little over 60 days. Just celebrated Easter. I just had an emotional breakdown. I called my dad again and cried hysterically to him that I just could not do it. I felt within me that I didn't have another ounce of strength to give. But my dad, thankfully, I had a beautiful support system. My dad said, I'm coming down in the morning. Even though he had to work, even though my mom had to work. They're in Reno. I'm in Oakland Children's Hospital. All I needed to do was last 2 days without them. And I completely broke down. After I called him, even though I fought myself, like, I don't want to call him. I just need to make it 2 days. I just need to make it 2 days. My hands couldn't stop it, and I called him. But after I called him, again, that little voice just said, it's okay. You can ask for help. You're allowed to ask for help. Just don't give up. Just keep walking. I know your legs are weary. Hence the reason, don't we love Christianity and Jesus for that reason? Weary souls, come this way. I'll harbor you in the storm. It's such a beautiful thing for a lot of religious people to have that faith and that belief in this external spiritual force, right? Something from without. And even if you feel them within, that's even more beautiful. Hell, I feel Jesus all the time around me. I feel a council of spiritual masters with me, which has taken a long time for me to understand and recognize. But you are being called forward one step at a time. And you're being called not to get stuck where you are. So things like finding one thing in your life that you like. Everything could be going wrong, but there could be one thing. That you have a car, that you have eyes to see this, that your heart beats appropriately, that your brain is functioning, that your lungs are extracting oxygen and allowing you to breathe and not suffocating you. If there's one thing, that you have skin on your arms that don't have skin cancer. If there's one thing in your life that you can be grateful for or like or just feel a fondness for, hold on to that. Hold on to that one thing. Let your emotional state, your vibrational frequency rise. Let it rise, because then you'll start getting access to things that you can be more grateful for or that you like about your life. And in that way, you're going to be taking 10 steps. You're going to be eating 10 bites of the elephant. Just keep taking those steps and don't give up. These practices are daily, hourly, momentary. Just do your best. It's a mental game. Do your best to distract yourself if necessary. Watch something you like. Go for a walk in nature. Meditate, quiet your mind. Watch a video I think I already said that, watch a video you like, listen to beautiful music, pet your animal. But make it a practice, an hourly practice, a momentary practice, just to remind yourself of the opportunities in your life. It's not all gone. You have something. There's something. Hold on to that one thing. And then allow more things to show up into your mind, because right now it's just something within your mind. Things suck. Life is hard. But you can get through this. That's why you have this video in front of you. You can get through this. You will get through this. You just have to put those things into practice. And that leads us to sign or thing number 3, which is ask for help. Let go, which is part of the faith, but just let go. Try it out. You are where you are. Try it out. Ask. Ask for help. And ask for a sign that you're being looked out for. This is faith right here. But you have no other option. I know that I had such a hard time the past 2 months. If you watch a few of the other videos that I've done most recently, you'll hear me talking about it. I got COVID. I got rashes and hives all over my body. My lungs for the last 2 months have been in restriction, where I just felt like, I can't get a full breath in. So I did these things. I asked. I said, what the frick can I do? What can I do to be stronger in my faith? And then I started reading this list of quotes that I've got. And one of the quotes goes a little something like this. During the darkest hour, I know that God is. During the times that I am afraid, I trust more definitely in God, my Father, right within. I rest quietly in this assurance, knowing fully that all is well and my perfection is complete and finished now. And that's a quote from the book The Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East by Baird T. Spalding. And that quote hit me like a ton of bricks. Boom, right in the chest. And then I looked into another quote and I saw, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you will go." That's Jeremiah in the Bible. It's everywhere in the world. Every religion has taught us. We can't do it ourselves. I just did another video right here about letting go, letting that the spirit within is the doer. I am not the doer. Right? Of myself, I can do nothing. The spirit that dwells within me does the work. You're not the doer. So you have to remember that. You are not the doer. You are not the doer of the work. You are the allower of the work. You've already asked for it. Spirit has become it. Your inner being has become it. What you're asking for should be yours, and it will be yours as you practice these three things. It sucks when life is hard. I get it. I really do. Of anyone that you're going to watch on these, just because I look healthy doesn't mean I've always been healthy. Just because I look incredibly delicious, like you want to take me home like a little treat, does not mean that my life has not been difficult. Life has been a struggle many a time. But it's helped me understand these three things. These are three things that I still incorporate daily when I'm struggling, when I'm having a hard time, when my mind, when my ego is winning the battle. I read my list of quotes. I practice these three things. I say to myself the quotes that I said to you in this video. Watch this video again 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, until you know fully that you have the ability to grow. You are growing. That's why you're in human form. You are growing and you're expanding, and it's beautiful and it's perfect. And all you got to do is take one step at a time, one bite at a time, let go, and ask for a sign. You will get a sign. You will get a sign. You will get something. The problem is questioning the sign. Just let it be. If you see something that resonates, take that as your sign. Let it be. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. It's real to you in this moment, and that's all that matters. It's real to you in this moment, and that's all that matters. Spirit works in miraculous ways, whether that be a thought, whether that be a feeling, whether that be another person, whether it be something on TV, whether it be you coming and watching this video. Spirit works in miraculous ways. We can make it tangible all we want, but it doesn't matter. You're looking for faith. You're looking for belief. This video, your feeling right now that you're having as you watch this, where you feel better, you've gotten the sign. Now continue to work on that. You've walked 10 steps. You've eaten a little tiny piece of the elephant. Keep walking. You've built maybe the tiny little foundation of the house. Keep walking. Keep building. Do it anyways. That leads me to this quote that I'm going to read off my phone because I can't remember it, but it's from Mother Teresa. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people will try to cheat you. Be honest anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous of you. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten by tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give your best anyway. You are worthy. That's never in question. You are perfect. That's never in question. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, and sometimes life sucks. But you are strong enough to get through it. That's why you've gotten this video. You will get the answers you're seeking, even more than I can give you, because all the answers come from within yourself. This is just a mirror of what you already wanted, what you already knew. You're a beautiful person. You're smart. You're funny. You deserve to have the best. You just have to follow these 3 things, put them into practice. They will work for you. I know they will. They've worked for me for the last 23 years and will continue to work. I appreciate you watching. I've already told you to watch so many videos, but if you haven't watched, here's one that's really a good one right there. It's a good one for you. It's going to help you. And you will absolutely, without question, continue to grow and feel more joyful very soon. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I will talk to you next time. I love you very much. You are of value to everyone. And keep going. Keep going. Keep going.